Sunday, every week on Fox Sports South. Big crowd gathering at the TED this afternoon. Third, final, and rubber game of our three-game series as the Braves play host to A.J. Hinch and his Arizona Diamondbacks. And a good Sunday afternoon, everybody, with our two aces, Joe Simpson and Tom Glavine. I'm Chip Carey. Great matchup today. Tim Hudson and Dan Herron in the rubber match.
Yeah, two guys that arguably the ace of their staffs, both similar pitchers, rely a lot on the sinker and the ground ball. Herron, a big innings eater, 215-plus innings pitched in each of the last 5 years. And Huddy the same way. He'll go deep into the game. So look for a lot of ground balls, and runs will be at a premium today.
And, Joe, the Braves could use a few ground balls as they try to win this series and take 2 out of 3 today.
Well, all would be forgiven about last night's thrashing, guys, if the Braves can win this series. They've won 3 of the first 4 home series, and a win today would certainly clinch this one, and that would be just fine by Bobby Cox.
Yeah, you've heard that a time or two before, haven't you, Tommy?
Yeah, once or twice. And, hey, so far when I show up on Sundays, they win. So let's keep it going.
Well, I like the way you think. Braves and the Diamondbacks. It'll be Herron, it'll be Hudson, and a beautiful day for baseball, and a big crowd again here at Turner Field. We hope you'll join us for the starting lineups and our first pitch. Braves try to get back in the win column. And all the fun of Braves baseball is coming up after this quick, remunerative message. Humid, hot day at the ballpark as the Braves and Diamondbacks wrap up this series, and our broadcast on Sports South is presented in beautiful high definition by H.H. Gregg. And speaking of hot, the Arizona Diamondbacks certainly were hot with the bats last night. They scored 11 times, wrapped out 13 hits, and here is how A.J. Hinch lines them up for the series wrap-up. Kelly Johnson leads off. Cole Gillespie, his first start. Justin Upton has been red hot for a while and has buried the Braves in this series. LaRoche, Reynolds, and Drew the middle of this attack with Chris Young, Chris Snyder, and Dan Herron pitching and batting ninth.
Tim Hudson on the mound for the Braves today. His 8th start, 3-1, a 2.64 ERA, but dazzling numbers in his career against Arizona. 5 career starts, he's 4-0 with a 1.61 ERA and just a 2.10 average against him. Over that period of time, 44-plus innings, 34 strikeouts, and only 13 walks, which leads us to his 4 keys to pitching success today, and that is bases on balls. He tied a career high with 6 in his last start against Milwaukee. He's got to cut down on those walks today against this ball club. This is a team, despite the fact that he's 4-0 against them, has some new players on there in the lineup since he last faced them. Did not pitch against them last year. There are 4 guys in the lineup he's faced before, but limited at bats. So pretty much a new ball club he'll be seeing today.
But he will see a familiar face in Kelly Johnson, who will lead off. And speaking of familiar faces, here is the umpiring crew for today's ball game. Daryl Cousins will be calling the balls and strikes as Tim Hudson goes to work and jumps in front of Kelly Johnson. 84 degrees at first pitch. And scattered showers north of town today.
That's perfect. Warm it up. Get some humidity in here. If you'd been in Milwaukee, you'd be enjoying this heat and humidity.
It was nice and warm back here watching that on TV.
That's just not right. First comment out of the books or out of the gates, and what happens? He just buries us.
Uh-huh.
So that's the way it's going to be today.
Yeah, not much golf on that trip, I guess. Huh?
No. Sadly, 1 ball, 2 strikes to Kelly Johnson. And here we go again with this Arizona offense, Tommy. This is an interesting dilemma that A.J. Hinch has, and we saw it last night. They'll beat you up very quickly with a big inning, but they also strike out a ton.
Yeah, they do, and you're right. It's hard. You look at it, and it's hard to figure out, but they almost mirror, to a certain extent, power hitters in the game today. Nobody seems to care about strikeouts anymore. At the end of the day, everybody just worries about production. And this lineup certainly can put some runs on the board. But you're right. The flip side of that is they do strike out a lot.
Arizona has struck out on average more than 9 times a game. And last night, the Braves struck out 13 Diamondbacks, but gave up 13 hits and 11 runs. But that doesn't happen often.
Back-to-back games of 13 strikeouts for Arizona.
And here's one of those new faces you were talking about in Cole Gillespie.
Yeah, I like this guy. Just looking at his numbers, he was an All-American at Oregon State, was on their national championship team, and they kind of cherry-picked him last year in the deal from the Brewers for Felipe Lopez. And looks like he's hit up and down in the minor leagues, good numbers, and is off to a decent start with the big club.
A.J. Hinch giving Gillespie a start and giving Connor Jackson the day off after the night game. Jackson's been troubled with injury in the early going this year. And Hudson ahead of the Arizona youngster, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Something else to watch for today is talking about Hudson and his bases on balls so far. More walks than strikeouts, now tied after getting Kelly. Is that Daryl Cousins is a hitter's umpire. He does not have corners on the plate. It's rather round. So don't expect a lot of gifts from Daryl on the corners today.
Did he go? He went. And Gillespie is out on a check swing.
Where was the pitch?
Yeah, as demonstrated here on that corner. Foxtracks tells us is a little away, so good call, Daryl.
I'm not buying it.
I guess.
Shocker. Here's Upton. Upton's hit safely in 6 of 7, and he's already racked up 6 hits in this series and 10 at-bats.
See, Huddy knew he had more walks than strikeouts and didn't like that, so he just went out there and took care of that, got that over with, and now he can move on.
And he's ahead of Upton. No balls, 2 strikes. Upton, the former #1 overall pick in the draft 5 years ago, has knocked in 20 men this year. And This was the danger spot for the Braves last night. Remember, Tommy Hanson struck out the first two men, fell behind Upton, and Justin hit a solo home run with 2 outs. And the D-backs didn't look back. But Tim Hudson has struck out the side. Boy, he went right after him in the first inning. 3 up, 3 down. We'll see if Dan Herron can hold serve as the Braves bat for the first time. Out the side in the first, and that's much to the delight of one of our work colleagues, Howard Feinberg, and his handsome young son, Michael. They're taking the day off, enjoying the Braves and the Diamondbacks here in Atlanta. And they're hoping to see this Braves offense break out against Dan Herron. Bobby Cox lines them up this way with Prado, Hayward, and Chipper 1, 2, and 3. Troy Gloss is on a very productive 13-game run. Eric Hinsky is in left. Yunel Escobar plays in his second game back from injury. And the lower third, Nate McLeod 7th, David Ross hitting 8th, and Tim Hudson 9th.
Dan Herron's 29 years old, 6'5", 215 out of La Puente, California. A number 2 pick by the Cardinals back in 2001 out of Pepperdine. 3-time All-Star, outstanding control. His 4 keys to success today against the Atlanta Braves. His strikeout to walk ratio was the best in baseball last year, number 1 in the National League, 5.87 to 1.
High fly ball by Prado. That's belted deep left field, and the Braves lead.
The other key was unflappable. We're about to find out if that stands the test of time. And I don't think Dan Herron's going to strike out the first 9 guys today, as he did in his last start. Fastball, inner third. I'll tell you, Martine's been jumping on some of those pitches. The grand slam he hit in Milwaukee was a pitch similar to that.
His first career leadoff home run puts the Braves in front, and Jason Hayward's in the batter's box. A few more wouldn't hurt for Tim Hudson, as Hayward has an even count. Jason with 8 home runs. He's knocked in 28 men.
Be nice to get those guys at the top of the order on base. Coming into the game, they were just numbers 1, 2, and 3 were 4 for 24 in the first 2 games.
Ball 2, strike 2 for Jason Hayward.
You were reading something, Timmy Chip, before the game about Chipper hinting or suggesting that maybe he and Jason Hayward should swap places in the order.
Yeah, Chipper was quoted in the paper today in Atlanta saying, look, right now he's become more of an on-base guy instead of a power guy, and that's the quote. Jason Hayward's a guy that can do it all, and the way he's swinging the bat, Chipper says he's more of a table setter. Now, Bobby has said, at least he was quoted in the paper as well, as saying for him there's really no difference between hitting second or third in this Atlanta lineup. But Chipper said he has no problems hitting anywhere in the lineup as long as it helps this team win baseball games. And there's an example of Hayward earning his 21st walk in his rookie season against Dan Herron, who has great control.
I think he just flapped.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, giving up the leadoff home run, and then he walks Jason, which, as we've talked about with his numbers, not something he does a lot. And look, with the back end, Chip, as you and I talked about, with the back end of this bullpen, A.J. Hinch, he wants everything he can get out of Dan Herron today. And certainly this is not the way he wanted to start the game.
And to continue our point about Chipper, here's what he's done in May. More walks than hits. At a .229 batting average this month. And Chipper still stuck on 2 home runs and 8 runs batted in.
Both homers right-handed, not left.
Well, from a pitcher's standpoint, if Jason continues to do what he's doing in front of him, Glaus continues to do what he's doing behind him, these guys are going to have to pitch to Chipper sooner or later, and I think that's been part of it.
Chipper checked his swing and is ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. We talked to Joe about Chipper making an adjustment with his equipment before the game yesterday.
Yeah, he went to a lighter bat, didn't like it the first at bat, went back to his heavier bat, stays with the heavier bat here today. Herron's a guy that features several different really good pitches. He's got a good cutter, throws around 90, has a pretty good breaking ball, but a real good, his strikeout pitch is his split, and it's one of the better ones around.
Big lead by Hayward out at first. And I think you're right. It's Dan Herron that's blinking right now.
Yeah.
Homer, a walk, and now 3-0 to Chipper.
Herron's last start, a real odd one against the Dodgers. He got beat. Struck out the first 9 men he faced, went 6 1/3, gave up 10 hits and eventually 4 runs, and struck out 10 on the day, but lost.
Kind of mirrors your season. It was 2 different pitchers within that game, and he's been 2 different pitchers throughout the season. He's either been deep into the game and just pitching a gem, or he struggles a little bit and gives up a bunch of runs.
Full count now, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Couldn't tell what that was. I don't know if that was his cutter or a slider. Something biting in on Chipper, and he didn't like it.
Hayward's running, and Chipper is still alive.
Came back to it. Must be. I think it's got to be his cutter.
Yeah. Yeah. That vantage point much clearer from our nice new center field camera high above the batter's eye.
Again, the runner goes, and Chipper flies to center. And Jason will retreat to first for out number 1.
I like that new camera. Now the guys in the clubhouse can really complain about balls and strikes.
Yeah.
As if they needed more help, right?
Where was that when I was here?
Here's Glaus. Well, you had enough help, didn't you? I mean, come on.
Gumby's got it covered out there, though. I hope he's got some water today.
As we showed you, Troy Glaus is having a terrific run. His average up to 270. 15 RBIs, 14 walks, 24 hits in the last 20 games.
Jason Hayward's been a little frisky since he came back from his leg injury. Swiped a base the first game back in Milwaukee and tried to steal third here the other night, got thrown out.
He might be feeling better too. He had a little bit of a flu bug when he got back from Milwaukee. No balls and a strike to Troy Gloss. Great crowd here today. A lot of folks sitting in the upper deck. Lower bowl looking good. Fans out in the bleachers too on this hot, muggy Sunday. Again, Hayward on the move, and Gloss fills the hole beautifully. That bat goes down a hero, and the Braves have him first and third with one out. A hit and run with Troy Gloss.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm assuming it was because of the way Troy swung at it, but Bobby typically doesn't like to hit and run with his power guys in the middle of the order.
No, it looked like if it was a hit and run, I'll tell you what, Jason Hayward got a heck of a jump.
Yeah.
When that pitch came out of his hand, I was thinking, oh, he's got no chance of throwing him out.
So Eric Hinsky, who's been one of the hot Braves hitters, a chance to add to a 1-0 lead. Prado started with a leadoff homer to left.
Second run here would be huge for Hudson against this good hitting lineup.
Be an interesting matchup. Hinsky has been swinging the bat well, but hasn't swung it well against Herron. Hit 182 in his career.
Another good cutter.
And for our fans watching the game and seeing that angle from center field, you see the latent movement of that cut fastball. I know I've probably called that pitch a slider. What's the difference between a cutter and a slider?
It's just a shorter break. A cutter, you're typically looking for just a short little, almost if you envision the ball hitting the sweet part of the bat, and you're just moving it down the barrel a little bit.
Fly ball to center, right at Young. Hayward tags from third, and the Diamondbacks concede the run. Hinsky does the job. 2-0. And he hit an 0-2 pitch. 14th RBI.
Let's go. Just proves that you don't have to have a base hit. Braves last night were 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. But you get that guy at third base with less than 2 outs, even a fly ball gets him in, and a good job by Hinsky. Good work behind in the count.
So after Prado powers the Braves to their first run, Atlanta manufactures a second one. And Escobar bats for the first time today. And pops the first pitch up, right side. Snyder and LaRoche. LaRoche knows that angle very well, and Escobar and the Braves are retired in the first inning. Good start for Martin Prado, his first career leadoff homer. First inning uprising, Eric Hinske drove in the second run. And now Tim Hudson, staked to an early lead, goes through the heart of the Diamondbacks order. And Adam LaRoche, first pitch swinging, grounds it up the middle for a leadoff hit.
Hit that off the end of the bat a little bit. Martin was playing him to pull. Escobar was up the middle, though. Just hit it right in between them.
Adam doesn't typically do that first at bat early in the game. He usually takes a couple pitches. A little ambush.
Yeah, he was pretty aggressive last night. He swung at the first ball a couple of times in Arizona's win. So that's his third hit of the series, and it brings up Mark Reynolds. 10 homers, 30 RBIs, low batting average. You know the story on Reynolds. A lot of strikeouts and a lot of power. Kind of like this overall Arizona offense, Tommy.
Yeah, they like we talked about. They don't mind the strikeout very much as long as they're getting the production to go along with it, and that sure is something that's changed over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, it seems.
Yeah, he makes no apologies for it.
And that's low and outside. Fans might ask why that has changed in the game. When you think of the careers of guys like DiMaggio and Ted Williams and Stan Musial, any thoughts?
Guys are getting paid for
paid
for production.
Yeah, they're in love with the long ball, not average.
I mean, it's the age-old debate. Do you want a guy hitting 30 homers and driving in 100 and hitting 230 with 200 plus strikeouts, or do you want him hitting 260 with 170 strikeouts and 25 homers and 90 RBIs? People take the home runs and the RBIs.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
And I think from a player like Mark Reynolds, he's just ready to swing as soon as you throw it. It doesn't matter what it is, where it is. He knows that he's capable of getting a pitch off the plate and hitting it out of the park, so everything's fair game to him.
He struck out a whopping 223 times last year. He's already whiffed 48 times this year, but as you guys mentioned, that's only part of the story. This guy has an unbelievable contact to damage ratio.
He has the mentality he still can hit a long ball with 2 strikes, and that's his approach. He doesn't care.
Runner goes. The pitch is low, ball 4. First walk of the day for Hudson, and immediate trouble in the Arizona second. So 2 on, nobody out for Stephen Drew, and it's time for a money and energy-saving bright idea from Georgia Power. Look for the Energy Star label when buying new appliances. Go to georgiapower.com for more energy-saving tips. Georgia Power is a Southern company.
Okay, we just passed there, we're panning the camera. It looked like he had an energy-saving star on his hat.
I missed it.
He's trying to save his energy out there in the chop house.
Not a bad place to be today. And here's some Georgia Power. Stephen Drew from Hayhira hit a long home run here. Part of a 3 RBI game, and he pushes a bunt back to the mound. And Hudson plays it to first. Good sacrifice for Drew. And they're at second and third with 1 out.
The way Stephen Drew hits the Braves here in this ballpark, that's not such a bad trade-off. 5 homers at Turner Field against the Braves and 51 at bats, including the one last night.
And for a team that hits the long ball and is coming off 11 runs scored last night, it's an interesting strategy there to sacrifice bunt so early in the game, especially, like you said, with a guy like Stephen Drew, who has swung the bat extremely well in this ballpark.
And now you're at the bottom part of the order with Young, who hasn't swung it real well lately. But his average at 287. He's hit 5 homers.
I'm just wondering if the Diamondbacks manager, A.J. Hinch, might be doing this in an effort just to try to get Dan Herron back even, to give him kind of a clean start after a rough first inning. In fact, that was the first time the Braves have scored runs in the first inning since May 4th at Washington.
One ball, 1 strike. Yeah, the pitchers, the starting staff for the Braves have either been down a run, down 2 runs, or nothing first 4 innings or so, pretty much all year long this year. So an early lead for Tim. Very, very nice to have. Let's see what he can do with it. Inside corner, good pitch.
And for what it's worth, Dan Herron could probably hit 7th today in this order, and nobody would complain because he is a very good hitting pitcher. Got that corner call.
I think he might have got one there. As much as I hate to admit that.
Tim thought he got it there. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The head off generally means Bobby thought it was a strike. Oh boy.
Boy, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not where you catch it. Like a good split.
Little roller hit towards short. Escobar's going to go to third and makes the play. So an RBI for Young on the fielder's choice. Reynolds is thrown out 6-5 in the double play-in order, and the lead's still in the Braves column. It's a 2-1 score.
6-5 on the out. Bad base running here by Reynolds that cost him, but Tim Hudson might be thinking about the pitch that he didn't get called a strike, where it would have been the second out of the inning on the strikeout and no runs across yet.
But again, the catcher in the batter's box, Chris Snyder, still hasn't gotten that phone call, obviously, that we talked about last night.
No, his wife due to deliver a baby any day now. Snyder's had a couple of 2-out hits in this series already.
One ball, no strikes. Snyder's also knocked in 2 runs in this series. And surprisingly, for a big man at 6'4", Snyder's only hit the 1 double play this year. But that's what Tim's looking for at some point today, as that pitch dances in to even the count, a ball and a strike.
Diamondbacks have been running quite a bit in this series too, and have a fast runner at first now. But David Ross doing the catching today, loves to throw and can throw. We might put the kibosh on that right away if Young tries to go.
Yeah, I think in this situation, stolen base, if he does get thrown out, I don't think the Diamondbacks would care, because you're in a situation where you're trying to protect Herron, and if he gets thrown out and Snyder leads off, you can hopefully get him in a bunting situation. If not, you get a base hit here out of Snyder, you clear Herron, and either way, that's the goal right now.
Toward third, Chipper handles the Sunday hop. And that will retire the side. Tim Hudson had 2 on with nobody out, allows 1 run, but heads to the bottom of the second, still leading. tag Dan Herron for a couple of runs. And there is the Arizona pitcher. And speaking of him, let's check out our trivia question today, brought to you by AT&T. Who's the only pitcher with more innings pitched in the last 4+ seasons than Dan Herron?
I'm going to go with a guy in the National League East right now.
Derek Lowe?
No. Guy in Philadelphia.
Holiday?
Pretty good call. All those complete games while he was with Toronto and now with the Phillies.
You go 215 innings or more 5 straight years. Pretty solid. That's the case for Herron.
1 ball, 1 strike. Nate McLeod starts off the second. Braves trying to get this guy going. He is taking a lot of called third strikes.
Just can't seem to get on a roll. Seems like I'll have 2 or 3 games in a row where it's like there's a glimmer of hope. Looks like he's coming out of it, and then he kind of 2 or 3 games where it's like, what happened?
He has 3 extra base hits in this series. And he's going to ground to Adam LaRoche at first base for the first out. 1 up, 1 down for David Ross, Braves catcher today. Nothing wrong with Brian McCann, day game after night game. So Ross gets the starting duties against Herron today.
Braves bench has certainly been good to him this summer and this spring so far. Got to keep those guys sharp, give them some at-bats.
Look out.
Well, I've never understood how this day and age of guys wearing 2 gloves and all the pine tar, etc., how that happens.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you can see on that bat that Ross was using, the fans were battling for possession. Nobody's hands were sticking to the handle. Very little pine tar on that David Ross bat.
That was scary, though, skipping off the top of the dugout. That could have gone anywhere. So Herron gets 1 of those runs back. Let's see if he settles into a better groove than what he had in the first inning.
I would guess, Tommy, if you're going to have a rough inning, you'd rather it be the first.
Hey, I was all for getting it out of the way. Give him up in the first and move on.
Does that force you to reassess your game plan, though?
No, I mean, look, I think in your mind, you go over a game. Chances are you're going to give up some runs. You know you're going to have a couple of innings where they have opportunities to score. You know, in his mind, he checks that off as well. That's one of the innings that was going to give him a chance to score some runs, and they did. Now we'll move on.
2 balls, 2 strikes to the Braves catcher.
He was voted by Baseball America as a pitcher with the best control in the National League last year, as his almost 6-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio would indicate.
One hop bouncer to Kelly Johnson. And Tim Hudson bats with the bases clear. And we invite you to celebrate Bobby Cox's final year as the Braves manager by getting the collectible Bobby Cox commemorative program, featuring an article by Bob Costas, tributes by former and current players as well as Cal Ripken, Tony La Russa, Yogi Berra, Elton John, Jeff Foxworthy, and President Jimmy Carter. The commemorative programs available at all Turner Field home games. 2 pretty good hitting pitchers squaring off today. Tim Hudson, a former outfielder at Auburn. Dan Herron, very impressive slugging numbers in 2010. We'll see who wins their first matchup today.
And remember that unlike Stephen Drew at that ball that bounced off the padding and went out last night, Tim Hudson hit one off the padding in Milwaukee, and it came back into the field of play. He got robbed.
Yeah, Huddy was probably happy that Ross grounded out. He doesn't want to see a bunt sign right now. He's feeling good up there.
Absolutely. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I was cracking up yesterday. He was taking batting practice, and Terry Pendleton would bark out, runner at second, nobody out. Like, try to hit him, move him over. Whack, he'd hit a long fly to left. Runner at first, hit and run. Whack, long fly to left. He's trying to go deep on everything. Didn't matter what situation TP was firing at him.
Reynolds at third. And Herron responds to a rough first with a 1-2-3 second. And by Geico. Good start for Atlanta after 2. Braves enjoy a brief lead of 2-1. And our Braves broadcast on Sports South, presented in beautiful high definition by H.H. Gregg. Most of the time, guys, you'd say it's a good idea to start an inning with the pitcher in the batter's box. I don't know if that's the case with the way Dan Herron swung the bat this year.
Boy, oh boy, I tell you what, he's probably rooting for some walks right now, because he's got to be feeling good looking up there at the scoreboard and seeing 417 for his average.
10 for 24, 3 doubles, and an RBI. Last year he drove in 10 runs, including a homer.
He's had a 4-hit game this year.
That's when you know you got it going on there.
Yeah. Got to stay in the game long enough to get 4 at bats.
Yeah,
so that's
exactly.
key.
That's a little league day. You pitch a complete game, get 4 hits.
Yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Last June, Herron and Miguel Montero in the 8 and 9 spots hit back-to-back home runs for the Diamondbacks. And that's something that hadn't been done in a while. In fact, Brian McCann and Jorge Sosa were the first catchers and pitchers to go back-to-back in a ballgame.
Wow.
It was back in 2006. And he takes a shot at right field and stays alive at 2-2.
Jorge Sosa was in somebody's camp this spring. I remember seeing his name, but was sent to AAA.
Little tapper that Hudson will handle, and Babe Herron's retired for the first out. Houston. Joe, I think he's with Houston. He's pitching in New Orleans. Is that the Astros?
Sounds right, yeah.
Or is that the
that might
Marlins?
be the Mets.
Or the Marlins. They changed so much now, I can't even remember.
I know.
You know what? That might be the Marlins. Well, in fact, Jorge Sosa pitched 6 scoreless innings after a rough first inning and beat Fresno 3-0 last night. So, go get him, Jorge. Kelly Johnson out of play down the left field line. 1 ball, 1 strike, and he's the object of our Geico quote today.
Good stuff from Adam LaRoche on Kelly. The beauty of Kelly is that he does all this without a speck of athletic ability. I tell him all the time, he's making the most out of nothing.
Go get him, buddy.
I'd say he's doing a little bit better than all right with no athletic ability.
He's tied with Andre Ethier of the Dodgers for the lead in home runs in the National League. And it looks like Kelly's going to have a chance to move away from Ethier, who's got a broken pinky finger. He suffered it in batting practice yesterday for the Dodgers.
Now, I wonder how that happened. I wonder if somebody throwing batting practice hit him in the hand.
Rolled to the right side. Backhand play, gloss. 2 outs. Well, Joey said, according to the LA Times, he was just swinging the bat.
Was it pinky or index?
Pinky.
Yeah.
And he holds the pinky right down by the knob of the bat. He said it's a leverage point for him, and it's very uncomfortable for him to swing.
Well, if it was one of those guys that they bring in on a daily basis to throw BP that hit him, I don't think he'll be doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Here's Cole Gillespie. He took a called 3rd strike. And Tim's tied him up a couple of times inside in his first 2 at-bats today.
Great thing about Tim's fastball is that he can make it go both ways. He can throw a cutter, but he can also cause it to tail a little bit in on right-handers like the first pitch. Nothing really straight from Tim.
That one was, and it was right down Capitol Avenue. Hudson has his 4th strikeout in this game.
How about Martin Prado leading off the ball game? Launching a fastball that was a little bit inner third. His first leadoff homer of his career, and went 370 feet. And take a look at this. Watch his foot. Just kind of picked his heel up a little bit, put it right back down, and then look at how he hits against that firm front side. Generating some great bat speed on Herron. Kept his hands back. Martin's really swinging the bat great right now.
He's up to a .313 batting average with that third home run this year. And has chance for his 16th multi-hit game of the year. And he's going to have it. He's 2 for 2.
Right on cue.
Don't you love it, Tommy, when they follow the script?
Man,
it's just
makes
amazing.
You sound like a genius.
That's hard to do.
We kind of go over this with the hitters before every game. Again, really stand back. His head stayed back. Didn't drift forward. Stayed down on it. Telling Adam LaRoche at first base, sorry I didn't get a chance to stop and talk to you in the first inning.
How's the family? Foul ball by Jason Hayward. Quick strike to Jason. He walked and came home on a Hinsky sacrifice fly. The Braves also, it appeared, may have broken out a hit and run with Troy Gloss that worked out perfectly. The Braves pulling out all the stops against Herron in the first 2 innings today. Ground ball, diving try LaRoche. Kelly's got it. 360 spin, a beautiful play. And that saved a base. A 4-1 putout chases Prado to second.
Kelly made that look easy.
He did make it look easy, and a lot of times on that play right there, the pitcher forgets to cover, but Aaron was there and Kelly made it. That's a tough throw for the second baseman to make when he's moving and that pitcher's moving.
Works as good as a bunt, but robs Jason of a base hit.
Chance for Chipper to chase home Martin Prado now with 1 man out.
And again, the Braves were 0 for 9 last night. Runners in scoring position, and it might have been a completely different ball game if Atlanta had been able to do something in the second inning when they had the bases loaded, 1 out, and didn't score.
Yeah, if Nate McLeod could have flip-flopped a couple at bats, had the double there and a strikeout later,
might have gotten into the bullpen.
Two balls, no strikes. Told you Chipper used that very light bat last night in his first at bat. He had a great line. He said it felt like a toothpick in his hands. As that ball popped up left side, nearing the seats. And out of play foul, 2-1.
Hey, how about the Cincinnati Reds? They jumped out on top of the Cardinals already today, 4-0. If they win, they're in first place in the Central.
And coming to town.
See them Wednesday and Thursday.
That kid Mike Leake is quite a story. Rookie pitcher. Never pitched a game or a single pitch in the minor leagues. All he's done is come up to the major leagues, Tommy, and go 4-0.
He's going to get called up to another league if he keeps that up.
And he gets matched up with Tommy Hansen here Thursday afternoon. That'll be a good business fan special.
Reds have won 6 of their last 7 games. As Chipper takes a walk, Herron, uncharacteristically wild in this game, has 2 of those today.
Chipper was able to foul off 1 ball, but everything else, the breaking balls, weren't even really close. Maybe Herron was thinking about Troy Gloss instead and hoping to get a ground ball.
No balls and a strike. Early in the season, the double play ball and the strikeout were 2 things that really plagued Troy. hasn't been doing much of those things the last 3-4 weeks.
And he gives a lot of credit to the fact that he's getting that front foot down a little quicker. His timing's better.
Troy now 3 for 10 in his career against Heron. One of those hits is a home run. Swing and a high fly ball hit to left. Gillespie, though, shy of the track, will have room. Prado tags and is going to move to third. Gloss flies to deep left for the second out.
Good base running by Martin, able to recognize that the ball was not going to get over Gillespie's head. So he was off the base a little bit. You can see Troy's frustration. He thought, got that off the end of the bat, probably got a good pitch to hit. But Martin able to go back, tag, and still advance.
You guys know immediately, don't you, when you just miss?
I don't really know how to answer that. There were so few that actually hit.
You only know how to just miss?
Yeah. I had, a career of just misses.
A strike to Hinsky.
But the thing you do know is when you just got under one a little bit that you know you didn't square up. And that's probably what Troy felt.
That simple little move by Martin to tag up right there puts a little bit more pressure on Heron and Snyder to keep that ball out of the dirt.
Braves have scored 59 runs this year with 2 outs. Hinsky's knocked in 8 2-out runs this year. That's the third highest total on the team. And remember, this is a guy that's done most of his hitting as a pinch hitter until the last week or so.
Put the ball in play 0-2 his last time up for the sacrifice fly. Let's see if they offer anything close ahead in the count here, 1-2.
Prado at third. Chipper at first. And the 2-2. Grounded, just foul. We'll do it again.
In his windup, Heron has that real pause at the top of his leg kick where he comes to just about a dead stop. Can't afford to do that out of the stretch with runners aboard, of course, especially in a first and third situation. So his stride to the plate's rather quick.
Pounding that cutter in on his hands.
Is it a slider type release on the cutter? Or not as drastic as a slider?
Not as drastic. I think with a slider, you're trying to make the ball break. With a cutter, you're almost just trying to change the direction.
Nasty pitch, and Hinsky over the top. Might have swung at a bad ball. Heron has 2 base runners, strands them both in the bottom of the third inning. And the game remains a 2-1 homer from Martin Prado. And so far, so good for Tim Hudson. 3 very strong innings with 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, he's looked good. Seems to be much more in command than he was the other night in Milwaukee.
Justin Upton will start things off. And he's quickly behind in the count.
He couldn't get ahead in the count either. His ball was moving all over the place. Seems like he was 1-0, 2-0, 2-1 all night long. That can be frustrating, huh?
Oh, it's very frustrating because in your mind you're thinking, man, I have good stuff, a lot of movement, but then you don't have the location aspect of it, and that can be very frustrating.
He's 8 out of 12 with first pitch strikes today.
And is this team, Tommy, one from a pitcher's perspective you want to aggressively go after?
Well, I think they are. I mean, when you get a team that strikes out a lot, yeah, you want to pitch ahead in the count as much as you can. You know, because clearly, if you're a team that's striking out a lot, it's you know, you tend to have that approach that you're not going to shorten your swing. You're constantly looking for that to drive the ball regardless of the count. And in a pitcher's mind, when you have guys in the batter's box that are constantly trying to do that, they make themselves more susceptible to chasing pitches, chasing off-speed pitches. So you try to get ahead.
But as we've said, this is also a club that if you miss by an eyelash, they really can punish you.
Yeah. So I mean, you try to make that quality first pitch strike. You know, get strike one, or in worst case scenario, get into a 1-1 count, so that then you can start expanding the zone a little bit.
Tim wanted that last pitch, didn't get it. 2-1 pitch to the outside corner. Fox Track says it was a little wide and agrees with Daryl Cousins.
Well, you called it early. Not many corners from Cousins. But he took that one right down Broadway again. Wow, 5 strikeouts for Hudson. And a good start to the Arizona 4th.
Daryl Cousins was behind the plate for opening day against the Cubs and Carlos Zambrano. And there were a total of 11 walks in the game. Braves won that one 16-5.
And Carlos so shell-shocked, he's been banished to the Cubs bullpen.
Sucked up a loss a couple of days ago out of the pen. It's the Pirates.
And we will also see at the end of this month, the Rays will travel to Pittsburgh May 21st, 2nd, and 3rd. Pop fly into straightaway left for Eric Hinsky. Adam LaRoche is retired for the first time today.
They actually have a stretch there, I think, Chip, where they play the Pirates 6 out of 10 days.
Yeah, it's the Pittsburgh and Florida extravaganza. Play those 2 teams during that 2-week stretch. And we'll get to go to Pittsburgh twice this year.
That's not a bad thing anymore. It's a good ballpark.
Great ballpark.
You'd have to go to the booth to agree with for us to agree with you on that one. But
hey, it's better than Washington, right?
Yes, it is, by about 7 feet.
Mark Reynolds, the batter. He walked his first time and has an even count. Something got away in the right field corner. One of the ball boys will take care of it. Looks like a seat cushion that floated down to foul territory.
Unruly fans.
Another pop-up. This one shallow right. Jason Hayward calls off Martin Prado in a very, very economical inning for Tim Hudson in the top half of the 4th inning. is brought to you in part by Verizon, by Georgia Power, and by Blippy. That's what Sunday baseball is all about right there. Look at all those kids having a ball at the Sky Field here at Turner Field. And he's already got the what up down.
Needs about 3 more snow cones, though, and he'll be in fine shape.
And as we told you earlier, good crowd today for the Braves and Diamondbacks. Braves have drawn very well the first couple games of this series. Had 32,000 here last night. And Yunel Escobar starts things off in the Braves' fourth. 2-1 Atlanta the lead.
He'd made his mind up to swing at the first pitch his first time up and fouled out. And same there, and got about halfway through his swing and really didn't want to, but he had committed. And that cutter can do that to you. You see it as a fastball, but then it starts moving.
Were guys throwing that when you came up, Tommy? I know later in your career it was a very popular pitch.
Not so much. I mean, I think it was a pitch that really kind of started taking off early to mid-'90s. I mean, Greg Maddux was one of the first guys that really, I can remember, to really master it.
Well, people started hearing about Mariano Rivera, too, and what he could do with it. It was like, how's he do that? Because it's working.
Two balls and a strike. And the Iron Man, Dan Herron, after a rocky first, starting to settle in a bit here. Joe, you said last night might take a couple of games or at bats for Escobar to get back in the swing of things.
It's all about the timing. And sometimes it's hard to make yourself wait when you've been away for a while, and he's been aggressive, overly aggressive the first 2 at bats, getting himself in a hole, swinging at a couple of bad pitches.
So back-to-back strikeouts for Herron. He retired Hinsky to end the third, starts the fourth with Escobar, and that brings up Nate McLouth.
Yeah, those were his first 2 strikeouts of the day, too, by the way. Again, his last start, he struck out the first 9 guys he faced.
Let's hope he's not moving into the middle of the game this week.
Yeah.
Fly ball into center field. Young gives ground, but he'll have a play. And there's your second out. We told you Dan Herron is an Iron Man. He has gone 215 innings or more in 5 consecutive years. And our AT&T trivia question asked earlier, who's the only man with more innings pitched since 2005 than Dan Herron?
You said Halladay. I'm saying Derek Lowe.
Derek Lowe's a good call, too. CC. Huh.
Oh, did that say American League?
American League East. That's what they said. We missed that part.
Well, Gretchen's back, so there's going to be some trickery involved.
Yeah. Good to have Gretchen Caney and Gary Lehman back from their NBA duties. They're alongside today from Atlanta. Joe Vincius, our producer, Bill Cochran in the truck as well. Great crew with you today from Atlanta as the Braves try to win this series. Take 2 out of 3 and creep a game under 500. Braves are 17 and 19. 5.5 games behind the Phillies. The Phillies, speaking of them, play later tonight. They're the Sunday night game. They'll battle the Milwaukee Brewers. Cole Hamels and Doug Davis will be the pitchers at Miller Park. And you got to hope that the Brew Crew finds a way to start winning some games at home. They've really had a tough time at Miller.
And how about Jose Contreras getting the save last night for the Phillies? His first ever?
First ever.
Wow. Didn't know that. Phillies are on plan C.
That's it. Madsen, then Lidge, now Contreras. Lidge placed on the disabled list, I believe, yesterday with elbow problems again.
What happened to Snyder there? Did he get a cramp?
I don't know. I thought at first I thought Herron wanted to pitch, and then I saw Snyder come out of there. And what happened?
Came out from behind the plate to throw the ball back, high stepping. I thought he was upset too, but.
Line down the left field line and foul.
Here's the pitch before. It's a close pitch. You're right, Tom.
Yeah, I think that was a little. We're going to cover up that we held out there and wanted that pitch a little bit with the old hamstring cramp.
Full count.
That foul tip reminds me of the highlights I saw last night from San Francisco. How about with the game on it on the line, that at bat between Kaz Matsui and the closer for the Giants, Brian Wilson? 15 pitches. Finally got Matsui to fly out.
Good at bat for David Ross. He walks with 2 out. And to Tom's point earlier in the game, chance to clear Tim Hudson in the 4th inning.
Now, as a pitcher, and you took a lot of pride in your hitting, if the number 8 guy walked in front of you or got on base with 2 out, did you look at, oh, good, we got me out of the way? Probably not.
No, I didn't. I looked at it as an opportunity to prolong the inning. You know, try and do whatever you can now to get that top of the order back up there and see if we can't sneak a run out of this.
Season high in walks for Herron. And it's only the 4th inning. Strike 1 to Hudson.
There was a good description made of Herron today when I was asking around the Diamondbacks camp about how he was pitching. And this is coming off consecutive seasons. The last 5 years he's won 14, then 14, then 15, then 16, and 14 games. And the description was he's looking human. You know, he's making a few mistakes. Came in with an ERA over 4. That's very high for him.
Snyder couldn't stop that. And Ross moves up 90 feet. That might be an example of what they're talking about.
Not much Snyder could do about that one. He's made the All-Star team. Herron has 3 straight years, and his ERA has never been higher than 3.33 in any one of those 3 seasons.
Line drive right center field. Hudson helps himself. It's 3-1.
Clear the pitcher indeed.
See? You know what we're doing up there. Some of us.
Coors Light cold hard blast. This was cold-blooded from Tim Hudson. Solid into the gap for an RBI double. His 3rd RBI of the season and his 2nd double.
And so, to your point about Herron being human, he walks the 8th place hitter, throws a wild pitch, then Hudson doubles, and now he's got to face Prado with another man in scoring position. And Prado's already 2 for 2 today.
Just took a pitcher to snap that 0 for 11 the Braves had working for runners in scoring position.
I mean, sometimes you just got to have the right guy up there.
One ball, one strike. Said that was one of the subplots of this game today. Hudson was a real good collegiate hitter. And Herron's been awfully good at the plate. So far, that battle being won by Hudson.
Yeah, you're talking about the unflappable. The body language, not real good right now. He's not. No, he's trying to find something right now.
Snapping throws back from the catcher.
A.J. Hinch and Mel Stottlemyre Jr., the Diamondbacks Brain Trust, trailing 3-1. Fly ball center field, well hit. Young going back is going to stop and have a lot of room to make the play. Atlanta manufactures another run. Herron has walked 3 men today, a season high. 2 of them have scored, and an Braves from the 10. Don't miss Memorial Day weekend at Turner Field, May 28th, 29th, and 30th. The Braves will take on the Pirates. That's presented by Myrtle Beach Conventions and Visitors Bureau. See fireworks on Friday. The kids can run the bases Sunday, and a free Beach Boys concert Monday. For tickets, visit Braves.com/tickets. Good vibrations for Tim Hudson. He set down 8 consecutive men. And one of the early decisions in this ball game may come back and haunt Arizona. Stephen Drew batting with 2 on and nobody out, sacrificed. All Arizona could get out of that sequence was 1 run.
I kind of agree with Joe's thinking though on that. I really do think that in the scheme of things, they were trying to get Herron into a situation where the lead wasn't, didn't get out of control or make him feel like he was still in the game a little bit. Which not that I don't think you feel like you're out of the game at 2-0 in the first or second inning, whatever it was in the second inning, but still, I think with the pressure or the situation that he's put Herron in, where he's publicly said he's going deep into this game today, one way or the other. I think that was part of the psyche to keep it close for him.
Line drive into center field. That's going to be caught. Nate McLeod is there. And there's your first out.
Yeah, I think the pressure you're talking about is comparable to what some of the Braves starting pitchers had early in the year, where they just weren't getting any run support. So you can't give up any. Well, likewise, Herron knows that if he doesn't go 7 with a lead of any kind, he's got really no shot the way their bullpen's working.
Yeah, and you're as a pitcher, it's 2-0, 3-0. You're in the back of your mind, and your team's struggling to score runs. You start pitching to not give up runs. But if you can score a run, maybe close that gap a little bit, now you get back into that mentality of pitching to try and win the game. And then there's a big difference between the two.
Ball 1 to Chris Young. He's the only man to drive in a run today. That was Adam LaRoche in the second. Fly ball, center field. McLeod backtracks and is going to have room. Surprised the ball doesn't seem to be carrying even with the wind blowing out today. And guys are getting good swings, making solid contact, but a lot of fly balls dying shy of the track for some reason.
I think with both these guys being sinking ball pitchers, they are getting good swings at them. They are making decent contact, but that ball's sinking, moving just enough where they're not getting it on the sweet spot.
So Chris Snyder bats. Important man for Hudson. He'd love to retire the 8th place hitter and start the 6th with the pitcher's spot if he can.
11 in a row.
That's right.
Sorry, Chip. 11 in a row for Tim.
Tim has been remarkably consistent this year. I don't know how you feel about it, guys. I don't like the quality stat start. That's a 4.50 ERA if you do the math on it. But it is a way of measuring consistency, and he's made 6 quality starts out of his first 7 this year.
No, I mean, the mathematical definition of a quality start, I agree with you. I don't like that per se. But when you look at Huddy's starts and you're looking at 6, 7 innings, and most of the time he's given up 2 runs or less, that to me is a quality start. You've really given your team an opportunity to win that ball game. When you're going 6 innings and giving up 3 runs, that's not really what you set out to do.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Any chance they'll change it to 2 runs instead of 3?
Yeah, you'll have a mutiny among the agents for that one.
Yeah.
Ground ball scorched towards short. Escobar from his shoe tops makes the play. Oh, and look at Gloss. That caught him right in the pocket, and he's smarting. Hudson, a 10-pitch inning, has set down 12. And Tommy, let us be among the last to say congratulations. It's a wonderful honor. We couldn't be more happy for you. And gee whiz, lighten up, Francis.
What was that all about? Jeez, that was, I didn't agree with the Fox track or whatever that thing was, and I was,
Gary Cedarstrom, he's a nice guy.
A very nice guy.
What was that all about?
I wasn't real fond of his strike zone that day, so I just, politely wanted to let him know.
I see. I can see the head bobbing. That's real polite.
Yeah, so. I learned that from Bobby, the head bob.
Yeah, right. But congratulations, Tommy. We are so excited for you as Hayward gets a break right through the legs of LaRoche, and Jason thought about 2 and has to scramble back to first. And were they going to call obstruction?
Yeah.
They are. How about that? Jason Hayward earns another base.
LaRoche didn't see him coming. He was right in the baseline, and Jason bumped into him, trying to advance. Had to stop and go back, and Jim Joyce is going to award him second base. Big turn. Jason's watching the ball too, and then all of a sudden there's Adam in the way. That's what can happen when you're hustling and thinking about going for the extra base. Good call by Jim Joyce.
And I'm sure what A.J. Hinch is saying is, wait a minute, LaRoche didn't initiate the contact. It's almost as if Hayward went and pushed off, like in the NBA.
You know, I thought initially that there was a little bit of that, but I don't think there was. Jason he was in full mode going to second base and was watching the right fielder and just kind of looked up, and he's still watching the ball right there, and it's like, oh, look out.
Yeah, can't impede the base runner's progress. You've got to get out of the way.
So it's an error in the defensive play as Chipper rifles one towards center, and it tails back to Young. Tough break for Chipper, who barreled that ball for the first out. And Hayward still at second now with one man down.
Yeah, Chipper hit a fade. He needed to hit a draw right there.
Yes, he did. Ball came back to him. But Jason Hayward also, once he saw Young throw the glove up, needed to go back and try and tag up too.
So Kloss will bat. He's singled and he has flied out. We started the inning talking about number 47 joining all those other numbers up on the facade. Has that really hit you yet?
No, you know, it has. I mean, I'm obviously honored by it and I'm thrilled by it, but no, I don't think it's really going to hit me until the day comes and I look up there for the first time and it's like, wow, this is going to be forever. So I'm not 100% sure what I feel, but I think I'll have a pretty good feeling that day.
And here's just a small sampling of why number 47 will be retired here at Turner Field.
Got the two-seamer grip working there. I'm surprised it wasn't a circle thing.
Well, usually every picture it is a changeup.
Had to shake it up a little bit, huh?
Had to dig in the archives to find me throwing a sinker.
Well, and going into the Braves Hall of Fame too. That's a wonderful thing.
That's neat. You know, there's obviously a lot of great people that have been inducted in there, players, broadcasters. You know, I mean, it's. We're getting a nice history here in Atlanta.
Hayward's going to try to steal third, and he's going to make it. Kelly Johnson was breaking to the second base bag, hoping for a pickoff play, and Jason just took off and stole third easily.
Really didn't have a big lead, but had a walking lead, and Kelly was there ready for a throw. Good call on that, Chip. You saw him break over there. And for Jason, what I love about this is he got thrown out trying to steal third 2 nights ago. Didn't hinder him at all in trying to get this one.
Yeah, I think the other part of that equation is he doesn't feel good about what happened on that fly ball, and he was trying to make up for that.
Good point.
Well, Bobby said, 2.5 weeks ago, hey, Jason, be aggressive. And I don't think that Jason has taken that to mean only be aggressive at the plate. Seen it on the base paths. We've seen it big turns around first, sprints when he hits a home run, taking third. He has been unleashed. It represents a big run at third base here. Ground ball, it's 4-1. The Braves manufacture another run in this game. 3 of their 4, in fact, have been done that way. And it's death by 1,000 cuts for Dan Herron today.
Don't forget, too, the Braves taking advantage of that error and the interference on the same play. It set it all up. More good clutch hitting by Troy Gloss, too, as he has his 24th RBI.
Shows you how things changed. 2 or 3 weeks ago, that's probably a ground ball right at somebody.
Eric Hinsky pops it foul. And a quick strike. I know that fans, and we all get wrapped up in the day-to-day thing, and you look at the record, it's not where you want it to be. What's the mindset of a player in that locker room after 6 weeks or 7 weeks of the season?
I think they're still trying to find their identity. I think they obviously like their club, they like their makeup, but they're trying to figure out what they are. You know, and again, I think obviously when you're doing what they're doing right now, where they've been kind of up and down, inconsistent, under 500. The silver lining is you're looking at the standings and going, well, geez, we're only 4.5 or 5.5 games out, so we're within striking distance there. But I don't think this club, honestly, is going to start thinking about that and start feeling good about themselves until they get back to 500, start getting a little bit above, and then I think you'll start to see them be a little bit more geared towards trying to make a climb in the standings. Right now, I think they've got to get back to 500 and above, and then they can start worrying about that other stuff.
The month of May has been very productive for the Braves. They're 8-5. Remember, they've already had a 9-game losing streak. As that ball smacked by Hinske to left center field. Young on his horse. And that ball is gone. A home run. There's that carry we were talking about.
First home run in a Braves uniform for Eric Hinske, one that finally carried out. And the location of the pitch, Tom, after tying him up inside his first 2 at-bats and making him look bad. Of course, he got the sacrifice fly mixed in there, but really tied him up. He made a pitch with a breaking ball away.
Yeah, look, I guess figuring, he's pounded him inside. He's got to do something to get him back off that pitch, but Hinske was looking for the breaking ball.
So this exactly what Tim Hudson was hoping for, a big offensive explosion. He now has a 5-run lead as Eric Hinske, a 3 RBI day today.
This ball seemed to find another gear after it got into left center too.
Another gapper, this one off the bat of Escobar. He's going to try for 2. And he's going to make it safely. And Mel Stottlemyre Jr. out to the middle of the diamond as this thing has gotten out of control in the blink of an eye.
Their bullpen gets busy. Cesar Valdez begins to warm up. And the Fox tracks provided by Sherwin-Williams painting the corners. Escobar, a couple of tough at-bats his first 2 times up. Got a good piece of that one as Dan Herron is real close to coming out of this game. Still only 1 out in the inning, and that was the rocket hit by Chipper. Amazing, though, how often a big inning gets started by a routine ground ball that was turned into an error by LaRoche of all people.
Yep, there's that psyche. You're so geared towards getting that first guy of the inning, and you make a pitch, you get your ground ball, and you're thinking, okay, I got the first guy, and next thing you know, he's standing on second with nobody out.
One ball, no strikes. So the normally sure-handed Adam LaRoche. 4 errors already. Ball 2 to Nate McLouth.
Well, so far, Herron has been that 0-3 with an 80 ERA pitcher today. He is definitely trying to find something out there right now. He just does not look comfortable in the least with what he's trying to do.
Two balls, 1 strike from Dan Herron. Lifetime 3-1 against the Braves, but starting in this ballpark for the first time since 2005. Braves have missed him several times when the Diamondbacks have come to town. Most of their recent appearances have been at Chase Field in Phoenix. There's a rocket into the right field corner by McLeod. Escobar will cut the bag at third and score, and Nate makes it a 7-1 lead.
Sometimes with Nate, his uppercut gets accentuated by falling back on his back leg too much. Sometimes his upper body will actually have more of this angle. On this swing, he stayed on top of the ball a lot better. Didn't fall back as much. It was more on this line instead, and the results are a lot better. It seems to me when he's swinging and missing a lot, it's because he's really fallen back on his back leg and causes his uppercut to be even more drastic. That was a good swing there.
And boy, Dan Herron really lost it in the fifth inning. The Braves have really peppered him. 5 hard hit balls have resulted in 4 runs so far, and the Diamondbacks ace is knocked out of this game. Wide open, 7-1 is our score in the bottom half of inning number 5. Rough day for Dan Herron, 4 innings and a third, allowing 8 hits, 7 runs so far, a season high 3 walks and a couple of home runs. And so with the double switch, Tony Abreu is into play shortstop. Stephen Drew is out of the game. Abreu will bat 9th, and Cesar Valdez, pitching in his 3rd game this season, is on the mound.
Got called up from Reno first week of May. It's a curious move on the double switch this early in the ball game, unless there's something that Drew needed some attention on that required him to go back to the clubhouse and get some ice or something like that.
Marlins were thinking that the Diamondbacks were thinking that Valdez was going to start against the Marlins on Tuesday. But A.J. Hinch in the Arizona papers yesterday said they need him in the bullpen for this series in Atlanta. In fact, as Joe mentioned, he started some games for them, but was skipped in rotation to shore up that Arizona bullpen, which has been a disaster. Bullpen hasn't had a hand in this one, however. Dan Herron, a rough day.
I think that question you had at the beginning of the game about what to watch for, Tommy, about which Dan Herron will show up, I think that answer is quite clear.
Yeah, that one's fairly clear right now. It's funny, though, how as a pitcher you can get in those ruts where it's just kind of feast or famine. And you know, I wonder if his other games were similar to today, where he wasn't quite on and just couldn't find a way to to fight his way through it or find a way to fix whatever he's struggling with.
Well, this far and away his shortest outing of the season. He's had a couple of 6-inning games. He can't get out of the 5th today. Two balls, 2 strikes to David Ross. And there's another towering fly ball to center field. Young back against the wall, makes the catch. And there's the second out.
That'll bring up a hot hitter.
Tim Hudson, the 8th man to bat in the inning. Braves have pushed across 4 more runs. Ball 1. Braves have been averaging 3 runs of support for Tim so far this year. They've more than doubled that.
His last 3 starts, he's gotten tons of runs to work with. Beat Houston 10-1. He beat Milwaukee 11-3, and ahead today 7-1.
But all you have to do is look at that first line score on the scoreboard and let you know it's not offense that's the difference. This high-powered Arizona ball club has 1 hit so far today. That's all. That is single by Adam LaRoche. Fly ball center field. Young makes the play, and that retires the side. A little hustle and a little help started things against Dan Herron in the 5th inning. Jason Hayward reaches on an error. Troy
throwing the ball well today. Lots of strikes, lots of strikeouts. Moving the ball around. 1 hit to this pretty potent Arizona offense. And oh, by the way, RBI double to boot. Kind of closing in on that Little League game, dominating on the mound, doing some things with the bat.
I think that's a great description.
All he's got to do is grab an apron out here and start selling some popcorn.
There might be time for that. He's up 7-1. And to start with Tony Abreu, whom Arizona got from the Dodgers. And this guy has been a big-time prospect for L.A. Folks in Chattanooga might remember he had .336 between AAA and AA. 11 homers, 48 RBIs.
He's playing real well in part-time duty this year for the D-backs, hitting .327.
Loss stays down. Abreu retired. And 13 straight have been set down in this game by Tim Hudson.
That old adage that Bobby has always professed about just win series. Try not to put any more emphasis on one series than another, even if you're playing the first or second place team, depending on where you were in the standings. That'll pay off for you in the end, won't it?
Well, it really does. I mean, people forget it's such a long year. And when you go through a losing streak like the Braves did, the natural inclination is everybody thinks, oh, we got to win 9 in a row and make up for that. And that's hard to do. It's hard to win 5 in a row in this league nowadays. So, Bobby is so good at keeping things simple, and that's the simplest way to approach the season. Look at the series that's on the calendar, try to win 2 out of 3, and if you do that more times than not, you're going to be in a good position come September.
Fouled straight back by Kelly Johnson, who has 4 hits and 12 at-bats back here in Atlanta. Kelly was the National League Player of the Month in April. And getting a new lease on life with the Diamondbacks. Leads the National League in homers with Andre Ethier, and he just missed adding to that total here in the 6th inning.
It's been, it's good to see for Kelly. I mean, it's been really a win-win for both teams. I mean, Kelly's struggles last year opened the door for Martin, who's turned out to be a great player here for the Braves, swinging the bat really well. It gave him the opportunity to play every day, and sometimes that old change of scenery makes a difference, and it certainly has for Kelly.
I think when that change of scenery occurs, too, it does a couple of things. But one is the expectations might be different from your new ball club. The expectations here were a certain thing of what he could or could not do. You go to a new ball club, there aren't any limitations on you. You can play like you're supposed to play.
Right, and especially in Kelly's case, it's not like, sometimes it's different. When you come to a club as a high-powered free agent type signing or a big trade, you come in with those expectations. That can be a little bit tougher. But in Kelly's case, you're right. He came in with no expectations. He had to go out there and make the team.
Yeah, and I probably used the wrong word when I said limitations. And I'm talking about self-imposed limitations on what you're supposed to do, not from the Braves' standpoint of what they were keeping him from doing.
Kelly is 0 for 3. Hudson continues his remarkable role today. 2 outs for Cole Gillespie, who has been struck out twice. Both times he's been caught looking.
Something else, too, with respect to Kelly, one more comment about him, is that he was a shortstop originally, went to the outfield, came back to play second after Tommy John surgery. As a utility man, his role was going to be definitely limited because he really only could play second base on the infield. Could he go back to the outfield? Yeah, but that really wasn't a consideration. So even as a utility guy, the Braves had that role filled by Infante.
Bobby Cox checking out the Gillespie bio in the Arizona Media Guide.
He's trying to keep himself busy down there. Huddy's on a roll. Not much to worry about.
Co-captain on the Oregon State National Championship team, I see.
But I guarantee you, he's reading that media guide, not looking at the pitch. If somebody would have yelled, "Where was that pitch?" he'd have been right there screaming at Darryl Cousins.
Yeah.
One of the few pitches Tim's left up in the zone today.
Braves don't need to search the media guide for Justin Upton, though. 6 for 12 in this series. But again, Hudson has struck him out twice. This feast or famine offense that is Arizona's feasted last night. But Tim's allowed just 2 hits and is in the stretch position for the first time since inning number 2 today.
As a pitcher, that's when you know you're having a good day, because I guarantee you Huddy got into the stretch right there and was like, oh man, I haven't done this for a while today.
Did you feel like you lost much working out of the stretch compared to the windup?
No, I really didn't. No.
Oh, 2.
I know I've been wanting to ask you this with 2 outs that will make it quick. I asked Smoltz this the other day, but this deal with A-Rod running across the mound on Dallas Braden, had you ever heard that before?
You know, I've seen guys do it occasionally, but usually it's, you know, there's a ground out at first or something like that, and but never from a play at second where they just kind of run through the middle of the infield and run across the mound. But it is kind of unspoken that you don't run across the mound like that.
Runner goes with 2 strikes, and Upton stays alive.
Okay, well, we're 50-50. I hadn't heard that before.
No.
Smoltz hadn't either, but
I don't know. I mean,
he doesn't get around much.
No, he doesn't get around. I mean, I know, look, if I'm out there on the mound and, like I said, if it's a ground ball and you cover first, you know, and they run across the field and kind of go across the mound back to the third base dugout, that's one thing. But, you know, you're kind of hanging around the mound right there, and the guy runs across your mound. It's like,
but he wasn't on the mound.
Get out of here.
He wasn't on the mound. That was the thing. It was like that was just open territory. He was just cutting back. That was my thing was, okay, if he's standing on the mound and I'm A-Rod, I'm not going to run rush by him. I'm going to run around the mound. But he wasn't there. I
think more times than not, though, guys purposely will avoid going right over the top of the mound. They'll run around it.
Well, it sure fired up Braden. All he did was throw a perfect game.
Yeah, right? So much for the 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah. Fastball high. The Ross throw is in time. How about that play by Prado?
How awesome was that quick catch and release? My goodness, David Ross. Looked like a middle infielder turning it. On it here during the 6th inning from Fort Gordon, Georgia. And the freeze cam. And the cool train highlighted today in the 5th inning. A leadoff ground ball by Jason Hayward right through the wickets on Adam LaRoche. But that was just the beginning of the play. Because then Jason rounded first, and there's Adam standing right in his way. Adam was called for defensive interference. Braves eventually parlayed that into a 4-run inning. This is Coors Light Freeze Cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
And once again, the top of the order is up for Atlanta. This is the 3rd time Prado has led off an inning in his 4 at-bats today. Prado, Hayward, Chipper are due. Atlanta up 7-1. Braves trying to win their 10th game of the year at home. They will welcome the Mets here tomorrow night. The Mets are losing to the Marlins. The Braves can win this one. If the Marlins can hold that score, the Braves would move out of 5th and into 4th place in the East. And speaking of that, here are your pitching matchups, our Eric Tran upcoming schedule. Pelfrey and Lowe tomorrow night. Johan Santana, Chris Medlin Tuesday. And Joe and John Smoltz will have those for you over on Peachtree TV.
Mets have made it a game. They were down 7-0. It's now 7-4. They're still batting in the top of the 7th.
Three balls and a strike. Mets will look a little different, Joe, than when we saw him last. Jose Reyes was hitting 3rd. They got him leading off again. Another drive deep to left field, and Prado takes the grand tour again.
I challenge anybody to come up with another player in the National League that's improved more than Martin Prado over the last 2 years. Throw him out there. Doesn't matter.
I won't take that challenge.
Another fastball in, too.
Another fastball in, and he's trying to show Kelly Johnson, hey, I can hit home runs, too.
He's got that little Elvis pivot, you know, that little wiggle of the toe, just put the heel down.
Yep. He's quick in there. You better get it in there if you're going to get one there.
First career 2-homer game for Prado, a 3-hit day overall. And the Braves now up 8-1.
Man, that had a good sound to it, too, didn't it? That's way up in the seats.
8 runs on 9 hits. That one chopped off the plate. LaRoche will feed the pitcher covering. 1 man down. I guess, guys, too, the sign of a good team is their ability to put bad losses behind them right away.
Well, you have to. You know, it's a long season. You're going to have games like that. It's inevitable. There's nothing you can do about it. And as ugly as they look, you know, the fans might go home or put their head on the pillow at night thinking, man, that was bad, and kind of take it with them. But aside from the starting pitcher, most of those guys have forgotten about that by the time they got home and were focused on trying to win this game today.
Saw Bobby looking at his scorecard there and drew a line through somebody's name. I wonder if we'll see somebody come in for Chipper after this at bat.
Tough luck for Chipper last time up. One of the hardest hit balls maybe of the year for him. A screamer hit to Young in center, but it tailed right into his glove. He's 0 for 2 with a walk today. That might be your answer.
Yeah. Brooks Conrad doing a little stretching. That's where Chipper's so strong. That is so hard to stop your bat when you're swinging a 31 or 32 ounce bat. But with his hands and wrists, he's able to stop that 34 ouncer, and that's pretty impressive. On his check swing. That big in starts. to be able to keep from getting a check swing called on you. Got to be strong.
Chipper's told the story many a time. He was in the Braves minor league system when Willie Stargell, as he's pinch run for with Brooks Conrad, told him, "You're not going to use a 32-ounce bat anymore." Gave him a 34-ounce piece of lumber, and Chipper really struggled to get that bat through the zone. But he said, "Once I made my first solid contact with that bat and got used to it," he said, "it was like falling in love." The ball just jumped. Maybe some encouraging signs for Chipper. A couple of hard hit balls today as he walks for the second time. Couple of singles, a run, and an RBI for Troy Gloss as Snyder again chases one down that reaches the backstop.
Snyder's jogging out to the mound like he got crossed up. Charged a wild pitch. But he didn't help any trying to catch it with a backhand.
No, that's not the video you'll show for blocking balls.
1 ball, 2 strikes is the count. Official scorer today is Jack Wilkinson. Jack, co-author with Pete Van Wieren, Great Baseball Book of Mikes and Men. And Jack and Pete will be at the ballpark, Braves 400 Club luncheon here tomorrow. They'll be signing books at 12 noon at the ballpark. There he is. Only one man in Atlanta has scored more than Dominique Wilkins, and it's Jack Wilkinson.
Wow. And it's official.
Exactly.
Wow, you guys are good.
Golf toward third. Reynolds, 360 spin from his hip pocket. A beautiful play.
Nice play here by Reynolds, who shows you he can do more than just hit the ball out of the ballpark.
All of a sudden, the great state of Virginia has become the cradle of third baseman. David Wright, this guy, Zimmerman with the Nationals.
Hot corner. Got to be on your toes in Virginia.
Now you're reaching.
Yeah. Here's Hinske.
Strike one.
Should have stopped with the, it's official. You know, you got to know when to fold them, man. I mean, you're hanging around with Smoltz too much. You're just going and going.
Yeah. You're right.
3 RBIs for Eric today. Did you hear Smoltz's joke the other night?
Do I want to?
I asked Joe.
Probably not, but last night I did get a text from him. I don't know, score was about 10-1, and he said maybe if you tell a joke it would help the offense. I did not take him up on that advice. But I know he'll be armed and ready tomorrow night.
Two strikes for Eric Hinske. Braves and Mets Monday night. Tuesday night, the Cincinnati Reds, who are bidding to move into first place in the National League Central, will be here Wednesday night, Thursday afternoon for a business fan special. The ball, 2 strikes. Line drive, right center field. A base hit will score Brooks Conrad. It's a 9-1 game. A 4 RBI game for Hinske.
.50 at bats, and he's got 17 RBIs. That's pretty good production.
think I said it earlier in the year. They're gonna be having a hard time keeping that guy out of the lineup because he can hit.
A former Rookie of the Year as Hinsky. A big day today for the Braves, who are exacting revenge for last night's big Arizona win. Brent Cleveland is going to pinch run at first for Hinsky. His debut as a Brave. And a ground ball by Escobar to short. And that will retire the side. Braves add 2 more runs. A big day for Martin Prado. His first multi-homer game as a major leaguer. And it's all Atlanta as we head to the 7th. Top of the 7th inning on Sunday, Braves in Atlanta. Brett Cleveland will remain in the game and play left field for Eric Hinsky. And Brooks Conrad checks in for the first time. He'll play third base. Hudson continues to roll along. Just 1 run on 2 hits allowed to the Diamondbacks today. And Upton, LaRoche, and Reynolds are due then the pitcher's spot. Atlanta will turn into big Diamondback fans after this game, for Arizona heads down to Florida. They'll face the Marlins,
who now have their hands full. It's a 7-6 game with the Mets.
And first pitch by Upton is popped up. Hayward battling the sun. Makes the catch at the right shoulder.
Brent Cleveland in left field reminds us that if you haven't heard, that Matt Diaz was placed on the disabled list yesterday. Cleveland was called up from Gwinnett, and Matt's going to undergo surgery on his thumb, his right thumb, I believe it is, to find out what it is that's in there. They've been able to locate something in there, a foreign body in his thumb that's causing him all kinds of issues. And I mean, they're not even exactly sure where it is. They might have to go in there and kind of, I hate to say dig around, but they're going to have to really do some extensive stuff to try to find out what it is and where it is.
So that doesn't sound like something as simple as a splinter that may cost you a couple of weeks. He was DL'd, obviously.
No, it could be something considerably longer than that, depending on how extensive the surgery is. So we hate that and wish him well in his surgery, which will be early in the week.
2 balls, no strikes to Adam LaRoche. Adams, the only man to touch the plate today, has one of Arizona's 2 hits. One hop bouncing ball to Prado. 2 down.
Tommy, when you were in games like this and had that comfortable lead, what is this, May 16th, Did you want to finish it, or were you, hey, if Bobby decided, hey, I want to get a couple of guys some work and make it a short day for you, were you for that?
You know what? I guess over the years it really just got to whatever Bobby wanted to do. You know, you tried to just continue to stay in the game, pitch efficiently, not let anything crazy happen, and then kind of left it up to Bobby. I mean, you want to try and, you know, this would be a perfect game to try and pitch. He's only got finish, I should say. He's only got 90 pitches. Really hasn't been a taxing kind of game. I mean, he's been on a roll. Really hasn't pitched out of the stretch. So if there's ever a day he's going to do it, today certainly could be the day. But there again, with Huddy coming off of Tommy John surgery, they're going to be extra cautious with him.
Complete games, though, just aren't that big a deal anymore, are they?
They're not. I mean, you know, you're not. At the end of the day, it just doesn't change things a whole lot. You know, you're still it's kind of like the home run RBI strikeout argument. You're not judged by your complete games. You're judged by how many games you win.
No appeal. The call made at the plate by Darryl Cousins. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tim had a stretch where he retired 14 straight men. Two and two. Nationals are winning again. They're in Colorado today, beating Jeff Francis, who's pitching in the big leagues for the first time since September of 2008.
Well, good for him. Yeah, good for him. Well, he was a star on the rise before he got hurt.
That's a called third strike. Reynolds was frozen.
He's done that a couple of times today. Popped him with that fastball when they least expected it.
After every game, your chance to get post-game analysis, interviews, and access to your Atlanta Braves like never before. Keep it here for Braves Live after every game.
A good day for Atlanta so far. 9-1, they lead the Arizona Diamondbacks, and it got started early on. Bottom half of the first inning, Martin Prado, first batter of the ball game, leads off the game with a home run. His third of the year. He was not done, though. A 2-homer game for Martin. This one 408 feet to straightaway left field. What a day for him. Tim Hudson has been outstanding on the mound. He's had some runs to work with, firing a 2-hitter, but you know what? One of those 9 runs was credited to his RBI ledger. He drove in the third run of the game with a double. Eric Hinsky joined the parade, his first homer in a Braves uniform to left center. It's an all-around good day for Atlanta so far, and they're cruising up 9-1 here in the 7th inning stretch.
So double switch for the Diamondbacks. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, John Hester has taken over behind the plate. We showed a couple of times. Snyder today flexing that right hamstring. But also, as Joe mentioned earlier, his lovely wife about to go into labor at any minute. So maybe the phone call came as Esmerling Vasquez takes over. This is his 10th game, a very high ERA. The Diamondbacks will put him in the number 6 spot in the batting order.
Hey, and John Hester's out of Marist High School. So local boy comes home playing in the other uniform, but congratulations to John Hester making it to the big leagues.
First pitch swinging is McLeod. Young chased back. And 1 out. Here's David Ross. I don't have the media guide in front of me, but looking at Hester, he's maybe out of the same mold as Snyder. He looks like another big, tall target.
Not quite as big as Snyder, but 6'3", 220.
Going back to your Little League comment, weren't the Little League catchers always the short, round guys?
Exactly, yeah.
When did the power forwards start moving behind the plate?
I don't know.
John makes his home now in Alpharetta. Played baseball and football at Marist.
I wonder if he played under Coach Lebrand over there.
Charlie might have had some influence on Mr. Hester. You bet.
Two balls and a strike. That's got to be pretty cool for Hester, getting to play in your hometown.
I wonder how he slipped away. I mean, everybody else in this town that can play ends up in a Braves uniform, it seems like.
Yeah.
Low ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. Now it's full to 3-2. I know a lot of Braves fans are happy for Ned Yost taking over as the skipper of the Kansas City Royals. They're winning again today, beating the White Sox. That would be 2 out of 3 for Ned if they can get the job done today. And Ross earns a 1-out walk. 1 on, 1 out. Tim Hudson is coming to the batter's box, and if you purchase $100 or more in regularly priced Braves player merchandise from the Braves Clubhouse store, you'll get an autographed baseball gift with your purchase while supplies last. Stop by the Braves Clubhouse store at CNN Center or call 404-523-5854.
You see the respect that Huddy got as a hitter now? Snit's not even looking at him to give him a sign right now. No. Not even thinking about bunting. So what that it's 9-1? It's all about how he's swinging the bat.
Oh, big cut.
Another good crowd today, 31,758.
That 0-1 swing was obviously one he was trying to put some distance on, but now he's cut down his swing a little bit. Maybe tried to take one to right.
2 strikes, put the ball in play.
Did he check?
No, he didn't go. Didn't even ask.
Just like Chipper, held up his swing right there.
Got to be strong. That wasn't exactly Chipper-like. Run, Huddy.
Now Bobby screaming, don't run.
Safe! It's an infield hit.
He's fighting that smile big time.
Right about there, Bobby screaming from the dugout, go easy. Huddy's having none of it.
No.
We'll find out what his last 2-hit game was. So 2 are on, 1 is out. Prado's already hit 2 home runs today.
I haven't seen a 3 home run game as a broadcaster. It'd be a good time for it.
Be great. Martinez added 11 points to his batting average. And now 2-0.
I'm not even sure that the description of locked in would apply to Martin. He's somewhere beyond that.
He's got 49 hits this season. His 16th multi-hit game. His first 2-homer game today.
16 out of 37. That's pretty good on the multi.
Have they started All-Star voting yet?
Yes.
How's he doing? Probably not as good as he should be, I'm sure. But
yeah,
he's going to play his way on that team.
With those 49 hits, Prado now tied for the top spot in the National League. Andre Ethier, Ryan Theriot, and Marlon Byrd of the Cubs, all with 49, now joined by Prado coming into play today. Line drive sharply hit to right. And the runners have to hold as Upton makes the play for the second out.
Charlie Manuel will be the manager again for the National League in the All-Star game. He'll have some influence on players that may not get voted in, and he'll see Martin enough to know that he warrants consideration for the team for sure. All-Star game's in Anaheim, isn't it?
Yes.
Strike 1 to Jason Hayward. Despite having an 0 for 3 day today, Jason has walked once, reached on an error, stolen a base, and scored 2 runs.
Something you can relate to, Tommy, and that is that All-Star break is. Some teams are getting an extra day these days, getting Thursday off. Braves do not. They finish up right before the break in New York. So to fly that Sunday, then to Anaheim, spend those 2 days there, and come home. It's not like a break at all for those All-Stars, is it?
No, it's not, because you do so much traveling, like you said, to go from New York all the way out to the West Coast. At least you have the time change in your favor going out. But, you know, after the game, then they're coming back to the East Coast to play it. They're going to be tired.
The Braves after the break right back in business with 4 with Milwaukee. But there is a Monday off day after that 4-game set with the Brew Crew. So a little chance to catch up perhaps. And Hayward on base again. Second walk by Vasquez in relief. And Mel Stottlemyre back to the mound. You know, the Diamondbacks have a very unique feature on their infield diamond. There's the dirt path between home plate and the pitcher's mound. They might want to move that from the home dugout on the third base side to the mound at Chase Field. It's been that kind of start for them.
They might get one whether they want one or not. Yeah, I love that little dirt strip they have out there in Arizona. I don't know what it was about that thing, man, but
just helped you guide
the
ball.
Yeah,
in.
It was like you were looking down a bowling alley. It was like, oh, okay, there's where I want to throw the ball. It was great
right there. They may have to build one over.
Try to
here.
get Ed Mangan to do
it,
but.
Right. Bases are loaded for the Bambino, Brooks Conrad. Boy, did he pick the Braves up in Milwaukee. Marvelous series against the Brewers. Brooks hit a home run on May 11th Yeah, that 11-3 Braves win. Then hit another one in the 9-2 victory up there.
Both of them off Carlos Villanueva. So he's in Villanueva's mind for the rest of the year.
Broken bat. LaRoche will handle. Pitcher does his job, and that will retire the side. On we go to inning number 8. It is all Atlanta.
Drill thing. Look at the brush. Just every day, they just pick on the poor guy. I want to wear the drill thing. Oh, a little drop kick there. I love it. Nice comeback for the drill. But I want to wear the drill outfit one day, just and surprise the other costumes.
Is it the same people all the time, or do they let people go out there and run?
I think it's the same ones, but it's the same result every day. When's the drill bit going to have somebody fight for him? So predictable. Bullies.
Augie Ojeda, former University of Tennessee collegiate player, will lead off the Arizona 8th. A couple of years ago, this little guy stepped in when Orlando Hudson got hurt and played great baseball at second base. And I think that might have been in 07 when Arizona made it all the way to the NLCS against the Rockies.
Nice play by the ball boy down there.
Always have had good fielding ball boys here in Atlanta.
All the way back to the Chris Van Zandt days.
Yeah.
Chris started it all.
Fly to right. And Jason drifts back for out number 1.
By the way, they've made a scoring change on that play where Hayward hit the ball through LaRoche's legs. And the official scorer has the liberty of charging 2 errors there because of the interference, and that's what's happened. So charge Adam with 2 errors on the play because of the interference.
Jack's feeling a little mean over there today, huh?
He's official.
Here's Chris Young.
Don't come back to Atlanta and think you're going to get some home cooking. It's a lot easier to pitch when you got a lot of runs to work with. I think that's fairly apparent. But Tim's had good stuff today, too. Much better than he's had in 2 of the last 3 starts.
He has, and you know, the runs will help you do that. You worry a little bit less about being fine and you know, that kind of thing, and you get in a little bit more of an aggressive mode, and you tend to, when you get in that aggressive mode, you tend to be a little bit better with your location.
But is he going to be chirping about a well-pitched game, or the fact that he's got 2 hits today?
No, it's, you know,
that's a tough one.
I know, you know, in the makeup of our old clubhouse, if Smoltz was around, we'd be talking about our hitting.
There's a bullet hit by Young to left that Cleveland handles cleanly. Only the 3rd Arizona hit in this game.
I don't think Tim will let it slide any if you're concerned about it just being ignored.
Yeah, I have a feeling it'll get mentioned.
And now with 102 pitches, the Braves bullpen will go to work. And here's John Hester. And the Diamondbacks are without Miguel Montero. He's had knee surgery. Snyder was his backup. Now with Montero down, Chris, the #1 catcher. Hester backing him up.
Hester had a good spring. Must have made an impression on A.J. Hinch. Hit .370, had a home run and 5 RBIs.
Had a great spring at the plate. Hit .370 for them. And hits a little flare into shallow right. That's caught by Prado from his knees. He'll throw to first. He'll double off Young. Have yourself a day, Martin Prado.
Outstanding play. Our Toyota Tacoma play of the game, and what a day for Martin.
And one of those days where everything just seems to go right.
That's the 9th double play, although not so conventional, but the 9th double play turn behind Tim Hudson this year that ties him for the Major League lead.
You figure with his sinker, he'd get a lot of them, and that sinker's been there from the opening bell. So 8 in the books for Hudson. Augie Ojeda will stay in the game, play second. Bobby Howry will try to tune up out of the pen for Arizona. 9-1, last of the 8th inning. Troy Gloss will start it off, and he'll touch one off to center. Young on the run. Can't get it. It's off the top of the wall and out of here. The Braves have hit 4 home runs today.
Braves have done a lot of damage on the first pitch today. This one, the first pitch from Bobby Howry, a high fastball. It's right off the top of the fence, and it looked like Young was trying to find a place where he thought the ball was going to come down so he could make an effort for it, jump, but he overran it a little. Otherwise, he might have had a chance to go up over the fence and make an attempt at that one.
So Brent Cleveland will get his first Braves at bat. He's had Major League experience before. It was with the Tigers.
Troy's got to show Huddy how to do that.
Yeah. He could go over.
10 runs on 12 Braves hits. Chance for Cleveland to reacquaint himself. His high school teammate was Kelly Johnson down in Texas at Westwood High School. And like John Hester, Cleveland opened some eyes, Joe, this spring training.
He got to play a lot, too.
Did they like what they saw out of him?
Yeah, Bobby in the paper said this guy's got some talent. He's always been projected as a good offensive player.
Tell you something else, Chip. The Braves really liked what they saw this guy in spring training.
Did they? I've heard that before. He drove in 102 runs in 2005. That was at Lakeland while with the Tigers.
It's hard to do in the minor leagues.
I was going to say, that's real hard to do.
Especially an A-ball.
It was a second-round pick by Detroit 8 years ago. That works the count full, 3-2. We've talked a lot about how the last couple of years the Braves have been looking for some punch from the right side in this lineup. They took a flyer on Cleveland, and here he is. And he tries to shoot the gap in right center field. And he's going to shoot the gap.
Everybody hits. Our pitch tracks provided by Sherwin-Williams Painting the Corner. A little up and in. Actually fought it off a little bit, but got the barrel to it. So welcome to Atlanta, Brent. I'll tell you this. If you're Young and Upton, especially today, you've only got so many gappers you can run down. Your legs begin to think, okay, how do I have to go there again? And that's kind of the way they looked on that one.
Well, we always joke when we go to Arizona, well, it's a dry heat. Not so here in Atlanta. Even in mid-May, it's a muggy afternoon.
It's pretty comfortable up here.
Everything's easier up here, Tom, you'll find.
I've seen that.
2 balls, no strikes. Howry continues to struggle out of this shell-shocked Arizona bullpen. Braves have 13 hits. 8 of them have gone for extra bases today. And lead by a 10-1 score.
I don't have any idea what the personnel is like in Reno for guys that they could swap out. But didn't the Braves make a move a few years ago? Tommy, you might have been here then when the Braves sent 3 guys down, called 3 up from Richmond.
Yeah, they
you remember that?
I remember that. Yeah, I don't remember who they were, but I remember. Yeah, it was kind of like half the bullpen was gone one day.
Yeah.
Esther couldn't corral that pitch. Runner to third with nobody out. If that's a wild pitch, Arizona will have thrown 3 of those today.
And it is.
ARI hasn't retired a soul yet. Escobar aboard. And they're at first and third with nobody out. Fox Sports South is giving you access you can't get anywhere else. Get the latest news and notes from our daily insider blog, The Chop. And go inside the clubhouse with our Braves podcast and hear what Jason Hayward, Chipper, Bobby, and the rest of the team are saying after the game. Because nobody covers your team like our team, FoxSportsSouth.com. Be a pretty happy podcast after this one, you'd think.
What do they call it in San Diego?
A Padre cast.
Friar cast.
Okay.
We'll have to call Mark Grant and ask him. I bet he'll have.
He will know.
1 ball, no strikes.
I wonder what they call that post-game show in Boston for the Bruins. Oh, wait, no, they're not going to have one.
Oh, see? Took you 8 innings. 8 innings to get that one in, didn't you?
10-1.
You know, water off a duck's back.
Is it?
Yep.
Were the tears
going?
2-0. Just when you thought you were safe, right?
Well,
he drops it on you.
I'm sorry for the hockey world. The Bruins-Canadiens would have been a much better series than Philadelphia.
Really?
Yes.
Were there tears shed at the Glavin household?
My little guy, Mason. Yeah, I think he was borderline.
Hard to take.
Yeah, he was mad. I know that.
All the people in Boston I saw throwing towels onto the ice might have been a little angry, too.
Yeah, they weren't happy.
I think it's the Bobby Orr statue's fault.
It might have been. I mean,
hang with them.
2 balls and a strike. And back out of play by McLeod.
You know what? That lends itself, though, to something like the commissioner's been alluding to, and that is realignment, where there are more teams involved, where you maybe, instead of divisions, you just have the 2 leagues, and the top 6 teams make the playoffs in baseball, and you seed it. But just think about that. I mean, talking about the NHL, the Flyers got in on a shootout on the last day of the season, and here they are in the conference finals.
With home ice advantage.
With home ice advantage, playing the 8th seed. See, that's great stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the good teams that got knocked out, Washington, Boston, and Pittsburgh, but that's pretty cool.
If we had a net, we could have caught it. Well, if you look at it this way in the National League, the top 8 teams at the start of play today: Phillies, Padres, Cardinals, Reds, Nationals, Marlins, Dodgers. First, the 3-2 pitch to McLeod. And so to your point, if being in the wild card is exciting, as the 4th team to make the playoffs in each league, think of the scramble it would be every time you play one of those 4 or 5 teams in front of you all the way down the stretch.
Yeah.
You just have to be one of the top 6, not one of the...
Yeah, I think it has some merit. You just got to get in. There are advantages to winning and finishing first or second. You'd get a bye in the first round.
Another pop-up. The purists, though, will say, and they've said this about the wild card, that it diminishes a 162-game regular season. Do you buy that?
Yeah, I do. To some extent, I don't disagree with them. I'll put it that way. How about you?
No, there's some there's some merit to it, no question about it. But inevitably, there's only one wild card team, so there's 2 other divisions that somebody's having to play to win to get in. So there's still going to be some of that.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Good at bat continues for McLeod here.
The other major sports all have more teams get into their postseason than baseball. Football's got the wild card set up where if you win, if you've got the best record, you get a bye. 2 teams get a bye in each conference. Basketball, tons of teams get in. I don't know how many.
Half the league, I think.
10th pitch of the at-bat from McLeod. And Howery can't retire him, and the bases are loaded. Boy, this has got to be tough to watch every day, whether you're an Arizona fan or not.
That's not a real good sign.
And I think they have 9-10 losses in there, too.
7.42 ERA.
Let's say 9 blown saves?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Here's David Ross. David has walked twice, scored once, and just missed a homer back in the 5th inning. 10-1, Atlanta has the lead. Would the players be in favor of realigning things to getting rid of the divisions and just playing league play, you think?
I don't know. That's a good, it's a good question. There's parts of it I like. It would seem awful strange not to have some sort of divisional lineup to where you're at least playing for some sort of division title. It could make for kind of a boring season if the top 4 or 5 teams were way out ahead of everybody. So I don't know. I mean, even with those other sports, as many teams as they get in, there's still a divisional alignment. There's still some pride in winning your division and doing all that. I think it'd be really hard to get away from that. But the big thing is, if they even begin to think about doing that, you got to start slashing games off the schedule. That's the first place you got to start.
That's right, expanded rounds.
Well, what they do in the NBA is they still have the divisional play, but they rank you in the playoffs according to your final record. There's a drive hammered by Ross. Boy, as he cannoned a couple of shots. And that one foul.
Woo.
Howery wasn't sure that one was going foul either.
But in the NBA, you have your divisional play. Team with the best record in the league, seeded 1, second best record 2, et cetera, et cetera. That would make the division races meaningful. One ball, 2 strikes.
Melky Cabrera on deck to hit for Hudson. Had a nice play there. Something else it might do to the schedule too, which I'm in favor of, and that would be to go back to balanced schedule, playing everybody an equal number of times instead of the way it is now.
Well, we're never going to get rid of interleague play. The commissioner loves it. I think the fans love it. Attendance is, in virtually every case, higher for interleague games than the intra-league games.
Yeah, I think that's the only, not the only, but one of the knocks I have against the current format with the wild card is you're getting that 4 team into the playoffs, and not everybody's playing the same schedule. And you know, I understand playing within your own division and the rivalries and all that stuff. I mean, I get that, but there was just always something that grated me that another team is going to make the playoffs, and the teams that they beat out didn't play the same schedule.
1 ball, 2 strikes to David Ross. And that's low. The Braves aren't making a complaint about this, but the inherent disadvantages or unfairness of it, just look no further than the Braves schedule and the Phillies schedule. While the Braves are going to play Tampa Bay 3 times, and they've got the best record, I believe, over in the American League. In fact, in all of baseball, Phillies get to play Baltimore. That's their natural rival. And the Orioles have lost 25 of the first 37 games they've played. So until I think the game gets to where everybody plays every team once a year, at least one 3-game series, which is also done in hockey and basketball. That's, I agree with you, Tom, a real unfair nature of not only how you play, but when you play and who you play.
Yeah, and that weak team is always going to change all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, a few years ago it was Tampa.
30 pitches for Howery, and he has not retired a man in this inning.
And he is in the soup. He had a good ERA last year for the Giants, 3.3 or so. So he's kind of absorbed some of this by osmosis, some of the problems their bullpen has. His ERA is already 8, and he's in trouble here.
Ross is granted time. He'll do a little housekeeping in that batter's box.
Florida beat the Mets 10-8. Crazy game.
So the Braves can leapfrog past New York today. Looks like they will. And we'll welcome them to town here tomorrow night. Another foul ball. Ricky Nolasco beat Jonathan Neese, a 6-run third inning. Told the tale for the Fish. Mets scored in each of their final 4 innings of that game, but could not seal the deal. Down in Miami, Florida now 20 wins, 18 losses. The Mets 18-20. A bases loaded walk. Boy, this is almost sad.
Are you telling me something about that fact for these guys? 7 or 8 times since May 1?
Well, I don't have the exact stat in front of me, but as of May 1, they had issued 7 bases loaded walks in their bullpen in the first month of the season.
Oh, that was through the end of April.
Bobby Howery faces 5 men, doesn't retire a soul, and it's 11-1 Atlanta. ERA, Tommy, around 8.5.
Yeah, you might be able to say the same for Blaine, not because he wanted to. He had to. He's out there pitching.
Man.
And man, oh man, trying to find some way to get it out here this inning and get this thing moving along.
Boyer was very good in 30 games with Arizona, claimed off waivers from the Cardinals. They fixed him. He was 0-1 with a 268 earned run average from June 8 to the end of the year. 2010 has not started well at all for him, and he's got a giant mess no place to put Melky Cabrera, who's going to bat for Tim Hudson here in the 8th inning. And a strike at the plate for Melky Cabrera. Reds just beat the Cardinals 7-2. Scott Rowland hit a home run. Bronson Arroyo beat Brad Penny. And so Cincinnati, whom we will also see on this homestand, takes over first place in the National League Central. The Reds take 2 out of 3 and are a half game in front of the Cardinals. Up the middle. That'll be a double play. No RBI, but Escobar is going to score the 12th run of this game. So Boyer got the ground ball he needed. He's looking for another one now as red-hot Martin Prado bats.
Quite a day for him. 370-footer leading off. And then in the 6th, leading off a 408-footer.
Looking for his 50th hit already this year. Remember him?
Sure do. Hey, Tom, you mentioned something about a Little League game that like Hudson was having.
Yeah.
Pitching great, hitting great. Do they have run rules still in Little League, don't they?
Mercy rule, yeah. Yeah, I think it's like, I know with my guys, it's in travel ball, it's 15 after 4 or 3, 10 after 4 or something like that. So
another hit. That is the 50th. There's your league leader in hits, folks. Martin Prado, a 4-hit day, a 3 RBI day. Jake.
Are you alluding towards the mercy rule here?
I was just kind of wondering.
See, then he wouldn't have gotten that at bat. He wouldn't have gotten that hit. He might lose the batting title by a hit, or he might end up with 199 hits this year. And, all kinds of things.
Okay. It's not that I'm in a hurry to get on the connector.
I've got them. That's all clear today. We're good.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You clear that?
I call ahead.
You talk to the fun-loving guys at the DOT?
Here's Jason. 2 walks, 2 runs for him today.
I mean, I don't want to brag, but I mean, some days when I show up, these guys do pretty good.
Hey.
And Jason Hayward's done something pretty special every time. This has kind of been a boring game for him. I mean, a couple, walks, reach on an error. I mean,
they set a pick on him.
Yeah. Big ground ball hit to second. Augie Ojeda will take care of that. And Boyer, pretty good job. Bases loaded, nobody out. He allows only 1 RBI hit. That from red hot Martin Prado.
post-game analysis, interviews, and access to your Atlanta Braves like never before. Keep it here for Braves Live after every game.
All Braves today, 13-1. Put it in perspective. Martin Prado has out-hit Arizona today. And Eric O'Flaherty will try to mop up the ninth inning in relief of Tim Hudson, who was just spectacular.
This is not what we expected today, boys. Not with those two guys pitching.
I think I said that in my pregame thing. Runs will be at a premium today, right?
Yes, you did. You were on top of that.
I got half of it right.
You did. And for you, that's not bad.
Got 500. That's good.
Diamondbacks had 11 runs on 13 hits yesterday, so a nice turnaround.
Tony Abreu, the hitter, for the second time.
Oh.
And have a seat, Tony. 1 out, ninth inning. Braves will post a score on the board tonight. And wait for the outcome of that Phillies-Brewers game later on in Milwaukee tonight. Braves started today 5.5 behind the front-running Phillies. Matchup up there will be Cole Hamels and Doug Davis. Rusty Ryle swings the first pitch. Love to see that. 2 outs. And Cole Gillespie, the last hitter for Arizona, we hope today. All Atlanta. Ball one. Again, thanks to our great crew in the truck. Joe Vincius, our producer. Gary Lehman, our director. Bill Cochran, our associate producer. Gretchen Caney, our statistician and graphics coordinator.
Thanks to our pal JD, too. Filling in over here on stats. Laser Baker away for his son Josh's college graduation. Thanks, JD.
Mike Farnsworth, our technical director. John Otis, our audio man today. And the Braves trying to take and will take 2 out of 3. And as we talked about, win 2 out of 3 at home, boys. Win series.
And you forget about last night. You just move on.
Two balls, 2 strikes. What are you doing Thursday afternoon? If you show up and everything goes this swimmingly, we're back at it against the Reds.
Hey, if you guys need me, call me. I'm around. I'm available.
Wow.
I mean, I play hockey on Thursday morning, so it has to be after like 10:30. So, other than that, I get down here.
Game's at 1.
Okay. I mean, if you need me,
skate on over.
I'll do what I can for the organization.
2 balls, 2 strikes. See you later, folks. Braves take 2 out of 3 and absolutely rip apart this battered Arizona pitching staff. A gigantic offensive day for Martin Prado. He had a couple of homers, had 4 hits,